at. Raising kids, cleaning shit.
The Paris Hilton documentary is going to be coming out soon. And it's going to be on YouTube. And I'm not like a huge Paris Hilton fan. I don't necessarily agree with like, you know, what does she stand for? Being hot. I get it. That's cool.
Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
It's, you know what though? Here's what I do give her credit for, is really pioneering this whole social media thing. Like I would argue that she was one of the first people who really mastered like here's what a selfie is. Like she would pose for her pictures on the red carpet, and she really injected herself into the zeitgeist and became a person that you were interested in and curious about. And that's pretty incredible for somebody who has zero discernible talent or skill. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like her. I mean, I don't know. So anyway, this new YouTube documentary is going to come out soon. And apparently she had some huge trauma that she's going to reveal. And I know I'm like really excited because I'm like, what's the trauma? So I'm like sympathetic, and it's interesting how her whole persona, the first part of her life is like, look how rad I am, look how rich, and look how thin I am, and now it's like, I want everyone to have sympathy for me. Look at what a person I am, and look how victimized I am. And I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting. But I think the downside is that now we can't make fun of her, because once you know somebody's trauma, you're like, nah, fucking bitch. Like now that we know that, it's going to be a lot harder to make fun of her. Maybe that's why she's doing it.
Wait, you're going to stop making fun of her just because you found out she had a hard life?
Well, let's see what the trauma is, because I feel like you can make fun of certain stuff. Well, let's see. Let's see what it is. It depends on what it is. And she did not have a hard life. I did not say that. I said she had one incident of trauma, which I think I heard a collective eye roll when people were like, oh, Paris, you had trouble. Especially when like the rest of your life is kind of amazing. Like you don't have to worry about many of the things most human beings worry about. Like there are people who were traumatized who are on Skid Row because they're heroin addicts now because they couldn't recover from trauma. So
I remember seeing like some clip, or someone did some sort of like short interview with her, or some sort of piece on YouTube, where she's just explaining like how isolating her life is. Like she can't have real friends.
Which is voluntary.
Right. Right. No, yeah, she did it to herself. Okay. But I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot to work with to like make it to invoke sympathy or evoke sympathy, you know? It's they got a real good machine going over there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, because like I said, the first part of her career is, look how hot I am. I want you to envy me. I want the men to want to sleep with me and the women to envy me. And then now I think the culture has turned where like, that's not as cool as being a victim. Right? Like it used to be cool to be hot, skinny, rich. Like those were all values that people were like, yeah, I want to be hot and cool. And now it's more like, well, what was your trauma? Like what? How can we feel bad for you? Like you're white, you're blonde, you're privileged, but there's got to be something in there, right? Because we're all victims. Like, so it's interesting culturally how she is becoming current again, right? And that's the way you do it, is by like revealing. By the way, she didn't invent this. This is a time tested tactic of celebrities to get back into the zeitgeist. You know, my favorite example is Princess Diana, which was a brilliant move when that family shunned her. She ran to fucking Diane Sawyer and, you know, did the interviews about how victimized she was and that family. Again, no value judgment. I am just stating the obvious. These are just the facts. Yeah. She was talking to Diane about I think it was Diane Sawyer. Maybe it was Baba Wawa, about how victimized she was to be a member of the royal family. It's so funny because, like, I don't know why. Yeah, there's the puppy dog. Oh, no, it was Bashir. Yeah. Bashir. Yeah, this is amazing. It's like, really? You want us to feel bad for you? You're a fucking beautiful princess. Like, the world adores you, and you it's not enough. Yeah, it's so interesting. It's an interesting personality trait. Yeah. Yeah, and especially when the social media people are like, I'm lonely. Like, you don't have to be. A lot of people that want to be friends with you. Like, millions of people want to be friends with you. You know that, right? Like, pick one of them. Pick any of them. Should we guess what the trauma is?
Ooh, this sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, let's pick that trauma. Here, hold on.
I think I know what it is.
What do you think? What do you...
like something that's traumatizing to her, but other people would have a hard time relating to it. Where
Interesting.
It's just like, my grandpa wrote me out of his will, and now I don't get an inheritance. I have to work for my money. You know?
Right, like it's a... Yeah, because I'm thinking... Well, let's go with what she does. She's obviously got the eating disorder. That's an OCD. That's trauma. Well, let's call Dr. Drew. Let's see if he can.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd put money on whatever his guess is.
Yeah, like I feel like he's really, because she does have the eating disorder. That's obvious. She's got the look at me. She needs a lot of attention. So clearly the narcissism, right? So her parents kind of didn't really foster. Is she hypersexual? Yeah, a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't forget that she's the one that made the releasing a sex tape on purpose thing popular.
God, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Some people forget about that. She was like the first one that I think did it on purpose.
Brilliant. But here's what I wonder is why did a girl who's already got all the money in the world, like why do you need the fame on top of... Because that's usually why you become famous, is to get the money. Because
she got written out of the will. Here it is. See, I think it's all sick. You know, it's all coming from the same trauma.
I don't think it. But you wouldn't know that as a child. This happened to her as a small child, so it's not.
What do you?
The trauma occurred when she was a child. She said.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't see the trailer.
I'm thinking she saw something, like dad was banging a maid. Or something. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. Let's call Dr. Drew and play Guess That Trauma. Let's see if he'll answer. Let me see if I can ruin Drew's life today. Oh, man. He's probably recording something. He's so busy.
What's going on?
Hi. You're on Where My Mom's At for a second. Do you have a minute?
Of course I am.
First of all, okay, so we're trying... So did you hear that Paris Hilton's coming out with a documentary soon?
I saw some headlines about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it fascinated me greatly, actually.
Me too. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. What do you think the trauma is that she's going to reveal? Because she says there's a big trauma... And I'm going to reveal it. We're trying to do the math backwards to calculate what it is.
Well, it looks like sexual trauma, right? Just looking at her. Yeah. So I'm going to bet that as she's probably just getting into treatment or something, and that she's starting to identify the big traumas, but I bet there's, 3 or 4 other ones lying underneath that big one. And if she starts to, you know what I mean? As she starts talking about her family and her parents and blah, blah, it'll start to mount.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna bet that she's gonna report. Here's what I'm gonna. If I were a bet man,
okay.
I'd say
that's what I want.
She's gonna report some sort of unwanted sexual contact in like mid-teens, like maybe a near rape or a rape. But the reality is, there's probably something earlier. The question is, does she really know that yet?
So you're right. Ding, ding, ding. So in the trailer, it's like. It happened as a child. So she...
Yeah, okay, good. Okay,
yeah,
good. So that's good that she knows that. Because I'm going to say something else happened in her teens, too.
Yes.
But maybe she'll understand that happened because of the earlier traumas.
Wow. Hot ticket. I almost want to have a viewing party with you so we can...
Let's do like a pillow talk where we just watch, video us in the studio on the couch there with the fart mic, watching this train wreck.
I'm so... I know. Should we do a live event?
Yes, I'm in. And by the way, I am good for her, by the way.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Good for her. I really was kind of excited when I saw it, too. I'm like, all right, people get to understand what that is now. Good. Let's take a hard look at it.
Well, it's interesting because, too, like the first part of her career is look at me, look how hot, look how rich, look how perfect. And now it's I'm so trauma, look at my trauma. So it's an interesting switch.
You should read my book. I wrote a book about this.
What's the title of that book, sir?
It's called The Mirror Effect, and I wrote about her, and I was saying under that is trauma. I said it loud and clear.
There you go.
So
Dr.
there it is. Now we're finally getting now when we start to understand that so much of what's going on in the world today that you and I are tired of is another acting out of trauma, or at least locating horrible feelings outside of yourself.
Yes.
Because you can't regulate them and they're awful, and there's at their core there's some sort of trauma there. When will we wake up to that? Maybe another 10 years.
Right. And then you take that trauma and then you tweet and you start a petition for Trader Joe's to change Trader Jose to be less offensive because you're personally bothered. Yeah. Okay.
And
it's nonsense.
It's acting out, externalizing.
Yeah.
It's splits, all that stuff. Maybe. How about this world where Paris Hilton leads us into insight?
That'll be great.
Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where my mom's at podcast with Christina